In this video, we're going to focus on how you can customize the Y labels here, where we have originally with numbers, as you can see in the tooltip, but it shows here in text as a clear visual or explainer of what these numbers would represent. So let's start to look how we can customize this. So let's start to look how to customize the Y scale labels in Chart.js. So the first thing that we're going to do here is go to Chartjs3.com getting started, this specific link here, which you can find as well in the description box. Once you're on here, scroll down and then just copy this entire chunk of code here. If you want to understand what this all does, make sure you watch this video that explains it all. So once I'm back here, I'll just paste that all in there, and then I will just cut out that, there you are, and put that title in here. Once I did that, I'm going to scroll down here and just convert this, instead of a bar, just make it a line chart and say here tension of 0.4, so we have immediately a elastic line like this. There you are. So the next thing what we want to do is we want to change the values. Basically we have only 4 ticks. In this case we have a 0, which would be the start. We have a low value or low score, medium score, high score. So let's start to do that one right now. So I'm going to say here we start with 0, which is a starting point, and then we're going to say 1, 1, let's say 2, 2, and then 3, and 3. Next, what I want to do is I want to just get a single color, so I'm going to grab this black color here, save this, refresh. There we are. So now we have this nice item here. And now what I want to do is modify the ticks here. So we want to have only 4 ticks, and right now there's multiple ticks here. So what we're going to do here, on the Y scale, I'm going to say here the following. I'm going to indicate, not here, but one below, put a comma here, and I'm going to say ticks. And once we did that, I'm going to indicate here the maximum tick limit. So I say max tick limit, and this will be not 3, but 4. Why 4? Because we have 0, 1, 2, and 3. So altogether is 4 items. If I save this, refresh, there we are. So now we have the ticks, or the amount of ticks we have, but now I want to assign a proper name to the 0. 0 should indicate start, 1 should indicate low, medium, and high score. So let's start to work on this now. I put a comma here, and then what I'm going to use is what we call callback functionality, and this is a built-in part in Chart.js. So we say callback, and then I'm going to put in here 2 parentheses, and then I'm going to say here the context. And we can maybe use the index, and the other one is the values, but it's not really necessary, so I'll just say these 2 is fine. And then what I'm going to say here is a arrow function expression, and then within here, what I want to do here is, for example, now if I just do return on context, what will happen is basically nothing. It will just return the original number here, or the value. The context is the value, and we can check this by saying console log, let's say context, save, refresh. Open up developer tab, you will see here now we have the context, and it will load both sides. It loads twice. Why twice? It will calculate here and at the other side. Although the other side is just hidden, so it does nothing else more. So now we have this, and we could, for example, say here context, and then we say here plus, do a concatenation, hello, save, refresh. Now we have hello here. Of course, I don't want this. What I want to do now is make this proper. So what I need to do is an if statement where we're going to check on the condition of the context depending on the value we have. So what I'm going to say here, first of all, I'm going to use here let value. I'll say here response. And the reason why I use let and not constant here, because I need to use this value multiple times and I might reassign it. So what I'm going to do here is now an if statement, and this if statement will say the context. We're going to check the context here, and if the context equals 1, in that case, I'm going to say here, this response will have now a new value, and this is why we have the let, will be equal to low score, or low. Else, we do another if, and in this case, if the context will be equal to number 2, and in that case, you can guess it already, we can copy this, put it in here, we say here medium, and then we have another else if, we put that in there. Then we have here number 3, and this will say high. Finally, else if. This is always not the case. In that case, I'll say else will be response will be start. Why start? Because that's the starting point, that's the 0. So once we have this, I'm going to say enter. I'm going to say return, and what I'm going to return is this response value here. I can comment this out. We can delete this later on. Save that, refresh, and there we are. So now we have this, but there's still so much more what we could do basically with this, because what is absolutely nice, and you can see here what is an issue. We have this weekly sales, and look at the value here. You see number 1, number 2, etc., etc. So we might want to adjust in the tooltip this item as well. So in that case, I'm going to recommend you here this specific video, how to customize the tooltip data in Chart.js, where we do a very similar structure. And if you want to go even more advanced, because maybe you want not only the tooltip but the colors, in that case, I'm going to recommend you this one here. We're going to even color the background, which will be intuitively with the colors. However, I will definitely recommend you to change the tooltip value here, because that is definitely not what how it should be. And that's this video here, how to customize the tooltip data in Chart.js.